Hey, it's Chef Des here to tell you another story. It's funny, we all have these stories. We've been through a lot, everybody. Every single one of you have been through something. And little special things happen to you, and you know what? I think you should share them. And this is why I'm doing this today, is to share a story about Bryan Adams. It was in 1988, Tuesday, May 24th, 1988. Bryan Adams decided to hold a benefit concert. So he was about to go overseas on a European tour. And at the time, he had been rehearsing with his band at the 86th Street Music Hall in Vancouver. So take it back a little bit farther. Vancouver was the site of the Expo 86, the World Expo. Anyway, this music hall was built to host different groups and just be a good venue to go, have a drink, see a band or two, so on and so forth. The 86th Street Music Hall. After Expo 86, they still had this music hall, and at the time, Bryan Adams was using this venue to rehearse with his band. So he wanted to do a concert just to get some feedback from the audience about how he's performing and stuff. But the main reason why he did that, he did a benefit concert. So there was this little boy, he was 12 years old at the time. His name was Chris Padwicky. His father was named Chris as well, Chris Sr. But Chris Jr. Had been in an 8-year battle with leukemia, still fighting it. Bryan Adams met Chris Sr. through, I believe, Chris Sr.'s uncle was married to Bryan Adams' mother at the time. Anyway, long story short, Chris Sr. had met up with Bryan Adams, told him about his son, Chris Jr., battling leukemia, and the pair met, and Bryan Adams decided to make this concert in Vancouver a benefit concert for Children's Hospital in Vancouver. And I believe they raised upwards of $18,000 for the hospital by doing this concert. Anyway, this was a one-off concert, a chance for Bryan Adams fans to be up close and personal, like right at the stage where he was performing, instead of the huge venues and you can't get really close because of all the crowds and the security and stuff like that. Anyway, I was married at the time, and my wife and I, along with her brother and sister-in-law, were able to get tickets. So the four of us went to this concert. It was really cool, again, being up close and personal with Bryan Adams, being right there. Here's a photo, and if you look closely, you can see me and my sister-in-law. I'm right there by the stage, right under his guitar. I'm going like this, yeah, and I had my gold rimmed glasses at the time. You see my arm with my little bit of my blue button-up shirt there, and my sister-in-law is right below my head there. Here's a close-up of it, so you can see it a little bit better. There's me with my sister-in-law. So, great concert, everything. We were right up close. At one point, the drummer lost one of his drumsticks. It flew out into the crowd, and my sister-in-law grabbed it. So she had that as a little souvenir. At the end of the concert, Bryan Adams took his pick he was playing with for the concert and threw it out into the audience, and it was like right in my direction. So I said to my wife and my sister-in-law, hey, let's just stand here. When the lights come on, let's see if we can find the pick. So sure enough, the concert was over, lights came on, everybody had to leave, and we're hurrying around, looking along the floor to try and find the pick. We couldn't find it, unfortunately. And so we went home to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law's house. Bryan Adams at the time lived in West Vancouver. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law lived in North Vancouver, and we knew where his house was. So I had this crazy idea. I said, let's go there. Let's take some albums and let's go there. Let's wait for him to come home and see if we can meet him, and get the album signed. Anyway, my brother-in-law, he didn't want to bother him. He thought it was a bad idea. So he stayed behind. So it was me, my sister-in-law, my wife at the time. We went there, pulled up in his house, and just sat in a car out by the road waiting for him to come home. And we sat there in the dark. And then sure enough, we saw this car coming up, this BMW, and the bright lights shone on us. He put on his brights of his car and pulled up into the driveway. And so we came running out there with the drumstick and the album covers. And at first he was a little taken back, not so happy to see us. Asked, what are you guys doing here? And so we told him, hey, we were just at your concert, you know, here's the drumstick, and we just wanted to get a couple autographs and maybe get a photo with you. And he says, oh, okay. And after that, he was very, very receptive to us and to us being there. And then he just warned us, saying, hey, look, you know, my neighbors know I live here, and they sort of look out for the place for me. So you're lucky that they didn't call the cops. Obviously, they didn't see you sitting there in the dark. He didn't want to have his photo taken. He was just really tired after the concert and stuff like that, and just wanted to go inside. So we obviously respected that decision, and we didn't take his photograph. We got autographs on the albums and stuff, and yeah, had a good chat with him. It was pretty cool. He was just about to head over to Greece in a few days to start his European tour. Anyway, so we were elated, right? He went on his way, we went on our way. We went back to my brother-in-law's house, told him all about our adventure and stuff, and he couldn't believe it at first. He was like, wow, you know, I should have gone and stuff. That's so cool. And, you know, we got the autographs. Unfortunately, I didn't get to keep those albums. They're with my wife, who's now my ex-wife. So we were getting ready for bed. I started taking stuff out of the pockets of my clothes, and I went into my shirt pocket and had some change in there from the concert, and I pulled it out. And you know what was sitting in there? The pick. Honest to God. So when he threw that pick out in the audience, he threw it in my direction, and it landed right in my pocket. And I thought that was so cool. So I've ever since then, I had our ticket stubs framed, and with the pick, there it is there. That's the exact same one. It's been in this frame since 1988. This was a little write-up about Bryan Adams in the paper as well that day. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool story. So the original ticket stubs, the pick that he had for that concert. Now, anyway, I came across this photo where I was going through some storage, and I came across this photo and the pick and the tickets and stuff like that. And I was curious to know at that point, I never really did any investigation at all after the fact, and I was curious to know if that boy, Chris Padwicki, had survived his battle with cancer. Unfortunately, through some research, I found out that he did pass away actually shortly after that concert. I found out through a family member, and I offered the pick and the ticket stubs. My original intention was hoping that Chris Jr. Padwicki Jr. Survived, and I was just going to give him the pick and the ticket stubs, because obviously that would mean a lot more to him than it would mean to me. I mean, I have the memory, I can just hold on to that, and so I was really hoping that he was still alive, and just as a nice gesture, I was just going to give him the pick and the ticket stubs. But unfortunately, he didn't make it. I did offer the pick and the ticket stubs to his family member that I found on Facebook, but she declined politely and said, no, that's fine. Obviously, it means a lot to me, and I should just keep them. Yeah, cool memory. And I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about that. What are the chances of him throwing the pick and it landing right on my shirt pocket? I mean, 1 in a million chance of that happening. Pretty cool. Thanks for watching, and maybe, hey, who knows, if I think of some other stories in my life, I'll come on here to share them with you. Thanks again.